Sheila, can you please read for us the STEM for this exam item that is on the screen? The STEM is just this first part right up here. Read that for us out loud.
Sure. The one thing I have to say is your I won't be able to, once it gets to a long history of depression, I can't read what's
Mhm.
after that because at least for me, let me see if I can move if I can move you. Oh, never
You
mind, I
should be able to
can't.
drag it. You should be able
I
to drag and
did.
move and
I'm going,
minimize anything that's,
okay.
yeah.
Alrighty. So here we go. A 45-year-old man who is gay meets with a social worker because of a long history of depression. The client says, in most areas of my life, things are fine, but I never had an emotional relationship that felt intimate. He also reports being distanced from the gay community because he is not political and, after all, it is no different from being straight, except that I have sex with guys. What should the social worker do first? Am I reading the A, B,
Nope,
C,
nope,
and D?
just,
Oh,
nope. That was just the STEM. So that's the STEM is the first part of the vignette. All right. Wanda, can I get you to read the three distractors and the key?
Conduct a comprehensive assessment.
Mhm.
B, explore the client's disconnection from the gay community. C,
Mhm.
refer for a medication evaluation. And
All
D,
right.
suggest that the client consider joining a group for men who are gay.
Okay. All right. All right. So, some of you have been here long enough that you've started to see some of the tools that we use, right, to break down exam items. And we know that we sometimes like to highlight important information in the STEM. Sometimes we do the context of the content. Sometimes we do elimination for the ABCD choices. Rachel, no, Eugenia. I'm gonna ask you which tool should we use right now and kind of walk me through it. Which tool would you like to use to break this exam item down? And you can use a combination also if you like.
Okay, I would probably want to use the content and contents.
Content and context. All right. All right, let's get to it. All right, so
Okay.
I'm gonna write con, I'll do it like this. We'll do context first, and then content second. And for the context, we want to understand who are the people involved, where is the vignette happening, when in the social work process is this going on, and then for the content, we want to reframe or restate what is the vignette asking us to do. All right. All right. So thank you, Eugenia. All right. So Garrett, when you look at the STEM, who are the people involved in this STEM?
The 45-year-old client and yourself.
Okay. 45 and the social. I should put an and in there because otherwise it looks like the 45-year-old social worker.
I'm gonna put
All right. So the 45-year-old client and the social worker. Is there anybody else mentioned in the STEM or anybody else in this vignette? No. All
No, I
right.
mean, he's mentioned community, but not a specific person or any other people.
Correct. Correct. All right. Wanda, where physically is this conversation taking place?
I'm reading it again.
Okay.
It really doesn't say that I see, but he's meeting with a social worker, so I would assume it's in a professional setting.
Okay. I like that answer. I like that answer. Professional setting. Okay. Professional setting it is. And then the next question asks, who are the key people involved here? Right? So we want to know, I'm sorry, not who. When is this happening? We already answered who. When is this taking place? Now, that is a question that is all about understanding that therapy takes place in three phases, right? The intake or assessment phase, the intervention phase, and then the termination phase of treatment. So, are we at the intake phase, the intervention phase, or termination phase of treatment?
Looks
I
like
want to
I'm
believe
sorry, I
with the
should,
intake.
anyone look like it's the intake.
Mm-hmm.
okay, the
Well,
intake
it
phase.
reads.
So tell me what gives you that, show me where that is, where'd you get that information from in the step?
Mhm.
On the first sentence,
And you said where?
issue of depression comes to the social worker.
Okay, so comes to a social worker sounds like they're just getting started.
Mhm.
Meets with a social worker. Okay. All right. Okay. So I want everybody for just a moment, I do want everybody to unmute, right? For just a second, because Rachel, you know we're gonna do this. You know we're gonna do this, Rachel. Everybody, please unmute. Izu, welcome to the group today. Um, everybody unmute for just a moment and repeat after me. The key is hidden in the stem. The
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 key
key
is
key
is
is
hidden.
hidden in the
hidden in the
stem.
pen.
One more time. The key
The
is
Key
hidden
key is
is
in the
hidden
hidden
in
stem.
the
in
pen.
the stem.
Again, I know that's like elementary school to get you to repeat stuff, but it's also, there's actually neurological benefits to when you say something, you hear it. When you hear something, you think it. When you think something, you process it. And when you
Mhm.
process it, it embeds inside your brain. And that's important. Repetition is neural pathway building. So, I mean, it is elementary, but it's elementary because it works. It's the reason we still know what 5 times 5 is, even though we learned that, for some of us, feels like 175 years ago. So, right? But we still know the answer to that because of neural pathway, because of, this type of learning process. So the key is always hidden in the stem. And I want to just remind you of that and drive that point home, because even though, yes, the ABCD answers are always under there, the key is always going to be found in examination of the stem. So again, I want you guys on exam day, Garrett, when you go get your 120 points, you need to be hearing in your head, the key is hidden in the stem, right? I want you to hear voices, Garrett. All right, Garrett, I want you to hear voices. My voice, or it can be your voice. I don't care whose voice it is.
Yes.
All right. So now we understand the context. We know the content. I'm going to ask Wanda, are there any other tools that you'd like us to use? Do you want to do highlighting? Do you want to do elimination here, Wanda? I'm going to give you the keys here.
Let's do eliminating.
You want to do some eliminating? All right, perfect. So, Izu. Uh-oh. Izu is moving in the car. All right. I don't know if you can hear us. I can definitely see you, but I don't know if you can. Okay, you can hear us. All right. I can't hear you at all, though. Yeah, all right. Well, then just listen along since you're already driving. I don't want to give you more to do. Good deal. All right. Yes, you can just be a participant. I mean, just be an observer. I'm sorry. Okay. So and welcome, Amy. Good to have you here today. Thank you for joining. Amy Swaby is in the building.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you, Jason?
Excited. You know I'm not the same until you get here, right? I don't know if you know that.
Right,
Like my
right.
energy level goes up a couple notches when you arrive.
Sure. We'll go with that. We'll go with that.
I'm excited. I am. I'm always excited that you're here. You really actually are engaging, which I like. All right. So um, so Amy, we're gonna do elimination because Wanda said so. So I'd like you to look at the ABCD choices on this stem and tell us one of these items that you feel like is not what you would do first. Love it when I can see the wheels turning. I can almost hear that Jeopardy music. Dun, 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 dun,
I will
dun,
say
dun, dun.
if I had to eliminate one of the answer choices, I will go with C.
Refer for a medical evaluation. So tell me why for you that one is a not a no-go. Why is that one not going to be your first action?
It feels like in regards to the other answers that we have, or the answer choices that we have, it seems a little we'll basically jump in the gun with that one for it to
Mhm.
be the first thing that we do.
Okay. Okay. All right. Seems a little kind of reductive.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's like it's just immediately kind of cutting past, cut through all the other stuff and get to this part. And that's not what first is about. First is about putting things in order and then doing them in order. All right, good call. Good call. All right, Rachel Wright, sitting in a virtual garden. I like that.
I would say I would eliminate D.
E suggests that the client consider joining a group for men who are gay. All right, so group work is usually very valuable and meaningful to people. It can certainly support and reinforce a lot of meaningful, messages. Why is that for you not going to be your first choice?
I just don't think that that's something we should do first. Maybe down the line of when, like in the intervention process, I think, if that's something that the client may be interested in, but I don't think it's something I would do first.
Okay, okay. All right. And I got to tell you, based on how you're answering this, Rachel, and even the language that you're using, I feel like you're going to get this one absolutely correct. And I'll tell you, I'll explain why when we get to the rationale. But I feel very, very confident about this one for all of you, really. But I mean, just what you specifically said, I feel like this one is going to, connect for you. So, all right. So, does anybody have any questions before I ask for everybody to send me their answers in the chat? Anybody want to add any comment or discussion before we, because that's what this is for. This place is to unpack, process. No, everybody's good. All right,
Everyone's good with those two eliminations.
perfect. Okay, keep in mind, just because your peers eliminated C and D, it doesn't mean that you can't choose it. If you think the answer is C or D, be firm in your conviction. Everybody, please send me a private message in the chat, direct message to me so that everybody else can't see it. Izu, if you don't want to do it while you're driving, I understand. I don't want you, I'd like you to be safe. But for everyone else, just please send me a letter in the chat Just one letter. What is your key? All right. So let me see.
Oh, wait. Let me find the chat real quick. Sorry.
Mhm. All right. And so far, I have answers from Garrett and Eugenia and Wanda and Rachel.
I'm coming.
Yeah, no,
Give
it's
me
not a
one.
race. It's not a race. I'm
Okay.
just acknowledging the people who already did submit their answer.
Oh, wait.
Thank you, Amy. Yeah. All right. And while we're still waiting for everyone to submit their answer, I do want to talk about really briefly today. You guys have all heard of the acronyms or actually it's another word for it. What's the word for them? Not acronym. Does it start with an M? The word I'm looking for. Anyways, it's where people, Farafi and all this stuff where they try to give you a strategy to help you in the exam. I want to talk about that. I don't want to change, get everybody's focus on a different place, but we are going to talk about those today as well. Okay. All right. Thank you, Sheila. I got your answer. Does anybody else need a moment? Is everybody, did everybody submit their answer? All right.
I think that, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we do have okay. So we got something to talk about here today because some of us, because you guys were kind of split on this one. So we'll process this one pretty good. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and show the key and the rationale. I'm going to pull them up here on the bottom of the screen. And I would like to have, let me get Amy. Can you please read the rationale to the group?
Assessment key A is the first step in this situation to understand the full context of the client's life. Options B and D determine the client's desire to deal with his depression.
Not determined. What do they say B and D
Under,
does? Huh?
undermine, sorry.
Undermine. Yeah, very different.
The client's desire to deal with his depression. Option
Mhm.
C may be appropriate depending on the results of the assessment.
Mm,
Okay. All right. Okay. So, Amy, take me through your thought process on this one.
I don't know. I went with B for this one. I felt like the client did a lot of disclosure, and for us to just jump in like, okay, thank you for telling me everything that you told me, for example, Jason. So let's do a comprehensive assessment now.
Mhm.
It didn't allow us to explore the client's disconnection to the gay community. Reason why I was thinking that it will be B then A, not
Mhm.
A first.
Okay. Okay. All right. And by the way, that word I was thinking of earlier was mnemonics, but it starts with an M. Mnemonics. Okay. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Now you see the explanation here. But I want to hear from other people before we kind of circle back on that because I think your peers will help kind of work you through that one. Um, Wanda Donovan, tell us how you arrived at your answer.
Well, initially I was thinking B, and then I took a look at the when, which was we were in the intake process. And I figured that a comprehensive assessment would also help me explore the disconnection from the gay community or find out more about the individual psychosocial history that would give me more information about him as well.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's Rachel, remember I said something that you said specifically would help you with the key? And Rachel, you can express, well, Rachel, you tell me, how did you arrive at your answer?
Um, kind of similar to what Wanda just said. That was honestly my immediate answer after reading it, just because I just figured that this was the first session. And he's talking about depression, talking about intimacy, like he's kind of talking about a lot of different things. So
Mhm.
I just felt like, of course, an assessment would be the first thing to do. And then, like she said, you'll be able to gather more information about, why does he feel a disconnection from the gay community, probably during the assessment when you get to the part about like sexual orientation and all those type of things. So that's
Mhm.
why I went with A.
Excellent. Excellent. What I was saying as to like when I said why I felt like you would you particularly got this one, when you were talking about why you would eliminate D, you were like, well, we're in the intake phase, and then and I was just like, and I didn't want to give it away when I was talking about the context and the content when I was explaining how we want to understand who, where, when. The when is the intake or assessment stage, and I stopped. I didn't repeat that again. I didn't want to like drive that home because during the intake we complete assessments. Like,
Yep.
and let's be clear, you can do an official assessment. Everybody, different agencies do it different ways. If somebody starts with therapy at your agency, Garrett, um, Garrett, you work at Hartstein Psychological Services. I'm sorry, I shouldn't tell your job. Anyway,
It's all
you might
good.
not work
It's
that out.
pretty easy to find me, so no worries.
I should let you at least let you speak on it. So at your job, if you get assigned a new patient Monday morning, when do they do a comprehensive assessment?
Pretty much, if you're meeting with them, it's the first thing you do.
Okay. Yeah. And so is it a formal tool that you use? Like, do you all do like a biopsychosocial or some version of it?
Yeah, a
Or
version of it essentially, yes.
yeah, yeah. So and different practices or different places may do it. Some places will send the person the paperwork ahead of the session and have them complete an assessment, kind of fill it out themselves. But the thing is, a clinician still needs to then process with the patient the answers and what is going on, because that's how we assess. Am I right, Mr. Campbell? He's like, why you call on me, Jason? I was just over there
Yeah,
minding my business.
yeah, man. Yeah. I'm listening. No, yeah.
Caught
No,
you off guard over there.
I was, and I apologize for just my tardiness. I was looking and listening to where everybody's feedback was, and my natural, and that's why I'm here for the test prep because my natural reaction was B. That was my instinct reaction, and you know, I, but I don't know. Yeah, like that's the thing. I don't know if I should trust my instincts or not because my instincts don't work when it comes to this test. So, but
Well,
the
I
obvious
wouldn't go
answer
that
would be
far.
A.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far to say your instincts don't work. We're what we want to do is develop your instincts and really get you beyond. Instinct is one part of the process, right? So we want to respond and actually respect your instincts, but add on to it a little bit of investigation and analytical thinking, right? So we want you to have instincts plus skill, instinct plus skill. It's like an athlete, right? You and I, when we first had our conversation, we talked about being athletes, and a person can have an amazing talent, right? As a basketball player, I had great leaping ability, great athleticism when I played as a pro athlete. I'm 278 years old now. I can't jump over a credit card, but but just because my athleticism and my gift, my talent has gone away, it doesn't mean that my skills don't allow me to still be effective on the basketball court, right? So you got to have that combination of both talent and skill, right? Instinct and analytical thinking. And by the way, that talent won't go away. Your instincts will stay with you for a very long time. So just as a word to the wise from an old man to a younger man. Just letting you know.
Appreciate that.
Jason,
Sure.
it's Sheila. First of all, I love how you said how you just said what you said too, and I didn't catch his name. That was really epic. And
That's Murad.
um,
Murad is the West. He's out there on the West Coast with you. He's out there in Cali with you.
oh wow, okay. So look, so he up at 7 in the morning too.
Yes, he is. Yes,
I
he
wanted to
is.
explain my answer, and I do this because I did it on Facebook as well. So my first answer was A. Then I went back and I said, well, I'm in the intake. So let me change it to B because then I'll explore it. But then when I went back to it and I said, oh my God, and I didn't want to change it again because when I'm in the exam room there, I mean, I can flag it and go back. Um, I want to be able to answer it and move on, but I do that from time to time. When I looked at it again, I said, "Oh my God, the intake will take care of B because once I do the intake, it will give me the answer. I can then start exploring." So, I wanted my colleagues to know that yes, I initially said A, but then I changed it to B, and then when I reread it, I'm like, oh my God, A will take care of B.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it. We're all victims of overthinking things at times. Every single one of us. You give us enough time and we will overthink anything. But remember what I had everybody repeat earlier out loud? The key is hidden in the stem, right? The key is hidden in the stem. When you go back to the stem, it tells you, Eugenia was brilliant to have us choose the context and the content because it helps us put a framework, it helps us put ourselves, immerse yourself in the scenario, in the vignette. I am that social worker in the room with this 45-year-old man who is talking to me about his long history of depression. And in most of the areas of his life, things are fine. But he's never had an emotional relationship that felt intimate. And he feels distant from the gay community. And so this is someone processing. This is someone sharing their feelings. This is someone, engaging themselves in what they're and this is all part of the intake process. And so when we're in the intake process, we want to understand as much as possible. We want to learn as much as possible about our clients, and so conducting that comprehensive assessment gives us a comprehensive assessment. Think about it. But I actually did one recently, and I broke it down to a lady who was really, because I was asked to see a patient who was very paranoid. This happened in real life just recently. She's very paranoid, right? And she said, "Well, what are all these questions you need to ask me? I don't know why anybody wants you to ask me these questions." And I said, "Well, it's a biopsychosocial development. So it helps me understand biologically what's happening with your body, psychologically what's going on with your mind and your emotions, and socially, what do you live at home or are you homeless, or do you have a job or are you unemployed?" It helps me understand the different aspects of your life, and it helps me put a framework and a context around what your experience is right now. So that's what we're doing. We want to understand more about this man's life, and this is the first step. All right. Does anybody have any questions about this one? And welcome, by the way, Reverend Dr. Robin. Is it Sabater?
Sabata.
Sabater. All right. Well, welcome, Dr. Sabater. Welcome to the group. Good to have you.